What's going on, beautiful people? So I want y'all imagine this with me a little bit, and I want you to imagine if every year there was an awards show or assembly, you know, and you're always being looked at, you know, and potentially nominated for the person you've been throughout the year. Now, before I drop home the point of the award show, let me speak on something I was gonna wait, we're gonna give it time, because I like to be thoughtful with the way I address current issues, but I'm just gonna go and say this now, because I think it's important. First of all, even though my whole goal is trying to be the change I want to see in the world, I failed a lot. I'm not always the best communicator, even though I love to communicate. There's times where I think what I've done is enough for one person, but it's not good enough for another, or in certain situations, like the way I communicate or deal with people and reactions to people and things is better sometimes than it is others. I fell a lot with friendships. I fell a lot with checking up with folk. And I also fell with, you know, I've not been the best friend. I haven't always repaid debts that I owed. I haven't always repaid them on time. And sometimes the outcome of relationships and friendships and bridges that were burned was my fault, right? That's also the reason why I think that with the optimism that God has blessed me with and the gift of gab, I think that's why sometimes it's easy for me to tackle certain things and I guess have some God-given wisdom, because I know where I've been. I know how hard it was to even see the error in my own ways. And so versus trying to find fault in others, I'm just open about, like, man, I'm just as broken as you. But thank God that, like, man, I've been able to be cleaned up in a way to make a difference, and people see you differently and see your works. And so with that being said, recently I posted a status about suicide, right? And let me say this. I personally have not had an experience where I wanted to I've tried to do that myself. I've had thoughts before when I was younger, but the thing is, like, that situation has affected me the most when I've known people who have, you know, either attempted it or they spoke to me as if they wanted to end things, and you kind of had to try to talk them out of it and get other people involved at times. And so when I posted that, it wasn't just to get a reaction. It was because I felt we should big up people, you know what I mean, but before it's too late. We should give them their flowers before they meet their death, and celebrate them while they're here. And so I saw another post where I did that, and then I said, you know what, let me just say this, you know, Facebook wide. So with that being said, there was somebody who wasn't happy with my response, and in my inbox I ended up finding out that the real reason was because this person had reached out for me on a totally different situation and subject years ago, and apparently I didn't respond. And then recently they had talked about that post about suicide, and I didn't see that either. I wasn't at it, but I didn't see that either. And so I'm not doing this video to call them out or to address the fact that what I could have did better. What I wanted to say was this: that situation bothered me a lot because, you know, we live in a time where, and lately this past year, it's like showed me the importance of communicating and connecting with folk, especially being away, you know, on deployment, and then seeing the whole world changing with the pandemic and other things, and, you know, having your hands tied. And I think about all the things that I can't control. And so I recently read a meme that said, man, the way I'm feeling, if somebody tells me 2 + 4 is 5, then so be it. It's gonna be 5. I don't have the energy for it, right? And I find that to be funny, but the truth is, I want the people I can feel like that, but at some point in time, I want me and you to kind of work out this math equation so we can come to the same sum, the same total, you know, what have you. And so, and so, what I realize is this: as I'm trying to make sure that I'm thoughtful of others, and because at the end of the day, all I want that person to know is, listen, I may not have been there, I may not have been there when you wanted me to be, or maybe I should have been, but like, how can I make this better, right? But sometimes that type of thought process can hold some folk back, because then the more we start worrying about people's opinions on things that we had no control over, it can plague us, and it can really start to set you back in other areas of your life. And so I saw somebody's post about, you know, somebody getting an award after the Emmy, right? And that's when the light bulb went off. I said, you know what? This is what I want to leave with folk. it's like we gotta be careful about how much we let people's opinion affect us. Because watch this. If every year there was an MVP given out amongst your friends and your family and people you communicate with, right? My question is, how many people will vote for you? How many people are expecting you to be the MVP in their life, yet they wouldn't vote for you, or they haven't done anything to add value to your life, right? And I understand sometimes, no matter what, we still want to be, a valuable asset in people's lives, and that's okay. But I just want to ask you, right? How many people will vote for you, or better yet, how many people would even show up? Yet they're expecting you to be that MVP in their lives, right? And then last but not least, I want to ask you this question. If you get that award, right, who would you thank for being in your corner? Because that is an important thing. When you see these celebrities and actors and athletes get awards, it's important to know who they shout out, right? Because that lets you know who they are appreciative of having in their corner. And when you do that, because sometimes, like MVPs and NBA, sometimes they don't even base off the stats. Sometimes they do, right? So the thing is, no matter if you get the award or not, think about who it is that you would give thanks to for being in your corner. And those are the people you can count on. Those are the people that your opinion matters the most to. So as long as they're happy in most situations, then it's a job well done. Especially if you're putting your best foot forward in other areas of your life. Y'all be blessed, myself, be encouraged. Sorry for the long video. I'm trying to, shorten it down. But again, listen, you're not always going to be the MVP that people want you to be, right? You show up every day and do the best you can, and make sure the people that's in your corner is the ones you're thinking about the most and you're being there for as well. Be blessed.